Alright, what is going on, guys? Got another breakdown for UFC Vegas 49. Fun fight here on the prelims. We got Ignacio Bahamondes taking on Rong. Both these guys pretty young. Rong is going to be 22 in March. Bahamondes is 24. And Bahamondes is going to have a 4.5 inch reach advantage. He's also a few inches taller. Both these guys coming off a win, so I will start with Rong. Last picked up the ground and pound knockout against Brandon Jenkins. It's a UFC win. Not the highest caliber of fighter, but get that UFC W after losing a decision to Kazula Vargas. Before that, had a really impressive winning streak. I mean, I say impressive in volume of wins, but yeah, not the strongest level of competition. But he does have a lot of stoppages, and he's only 22, so he's definitely going to be getting better. He's already got like 21 pro fights, and he's not even 22 yet. So very reminiscent of Song Yadong, and I think that we'll probably see a similar progression from this guy. Like, there's just no way he doesn't start to get really good over the next couple years, I don't think, because his technique on the ground is very good. He's very strong. He gets dominant positions and lands brutal ground and pound. But again, it's just like we haven't really seen him against a super high level of competition. Brandon Jenkins, again, it's a UFC win, but I don't think he's really going to be with the promotion super long. He's 15-7. And the other thing is Kazula Vargas. That's who they're matching up with Paddy Pimblett. And sometimes when you're capping fights and whatnot, you got to look at things like how does the UFC want to promote a guy? Like, I've talked about this before. And, they definitely don't want Paddy Pimblett to lose, right? Like, you got to keep that in mind. Like, if Paddy Pimblett loses, it's not because the matchmakers wanted that to happen. Like, Dana will cry if that happens because you have all this money invested in Paddy Pimblett from Barstool and all that. So they're matching him up with Rodrigo Vargas because they think he's going to starch him. You know what I mean? And Rong lost pretty comfortably against Vargas. And it's kind of like doing MMA math, but I think it just speaks to like Rong is so young, and Song Yadong is really coming along now. I'm not necessarily comparing them just because they're both from China and they're both young. It's more that because you really don't see a lot of these fighters coming in with such a complete record at like age like 20. And yeah, I think he's gonna have a similar progression because he's obviously very dedicated to his craft and China's an emerging market for the UFC, so there's a lot of these fighters that they sign because you can tell they just want to have more Chinese fighters to market them, but a lot of them aren't ready. I don't think Rong Zhu is in that category. I think he's going to be good. It's just like he's definitely green, and it's got to be kept in mind. And then for Bahamondes, a young up and comer himself, but I think he's just got a little bit more of an extensive resume, just kind of where he's fought. Lux Fight League in Mexico, he's got a couple wins there. Granted, not the highest level of competition there, but he does have some very solid fights with Combate as well. That Salvador Bacara fight, I thought he won that. Spent a lot of time backing up, and then he did lose a split decision to John McDessie. And the thing with Bahamondes is he's got insanely good complete striking. It was really on display in that Roosevelt Roberts fight, which is kind of the same thing for Rong Zhu. It's a good win to have on your resume, and he looked dominant in that one. But Roosevelt Roberts no longer with the promotion. I thought that was a very winnable matchup for Bahamondes. Roosevelt Roberts just doesn't really excel anywhere, doesn't really use his physical attributes. But yeah, Bahamondes, it's kind of a close first round. He shakes off a lot of the takedowns, and then he just starts to break them down in the second and third. He's got very good striking just all around, and his kicking game is, let's say the fundamentals are solid. He doesn't force things. When he does go with like a spinning kick, he tends to land it or just miss. He works those in very, very well. But yeah, it's mostly like front kicks and body kicks and leg kicks, but he sits down on them. He sits down on his jab also, and you just can't take a whole lot of damage from this guy. He's one of those fighters. Like, he has a high volume, but at the same time, like, every jab is stiff, every leg kick is heavy. He definitely sits down on his shots. He's like halfway between being mobile and being flat footed, if you know what I'm trying to say. And he can fight well going off of his back foot. Just very all around solid striking from Bahamondes. Problem is he just has like no defense. Like he gets pieced up in a lot of these fights. He bleeds very easily. The Makdessi fight, he was busted open, but it was a very close fight. Like, I definitely marked Bahamondes down as somebody to watch, and ended up picking him in that Roosevelt Roberts fight. But yeah, he gets some shit for that. But Makdessi's been around for a long time, and it's like I said, the offensive weapons are great. He just needs better defense because he does get hit a lot. At the same time, he's definitely got a chin. He counters well. Sometimes he leaves his head up a little bit too much when he's falling back, but he does land good counters while he's doing that, so it's a little concerning. He might be all right against Rong Zhu, who's not really a power puncher, but we don't know because his game is just still developing. But yeah, in terms of takedown defense, Bahamondes, he's got a big frame. He defends takedowns pretty well. I think that Rong Zhu is definitely going to present a challenge in the takedown department, though. He's got to be on his toes in this one because he's definitely going to have stronger takedown game than Roosevelt Roberts, who has decent sub game, but he's not necessarily great at getting the fight to the ground. Rong Zhu pretty good at getting these strong takedowns, strong single legs. He just commits to them, and it might lend to a situation where the first round is close or the first round goes to Rong Zhu, and then Bahamondes just starts to take over in the second and third. So for this one, I definitely like Bahamondes. You can get him for minus 260 on FanDuel, but on DK, better price, minus 225. I already locked in a bet on this. I want to bet more on Bahamondes. I really do. Put one unit on him, but I'm just going to give respect to Rong Zhu's game and leave it at that because he's very much a developing fighter in his own right. He's got very powerful takedowns and powerful ground and pound. Bahamondes has shown good takedown defense, so I think it's going to hold up. I think the level of competition and just, he's taking heavier shots, just all these things, I think is going to lend to him just taking over in the second, third round here. But it's really going to come down to how does he defend the takedowns from Rong Zhu, and I think he's going to defend them. Rong Zhu doesn't necessarily set them up all that well. It's just your classic, just bomb your way in and go for the legs. But I think Bahamondes is going to be able to manage distance well, make him pay when he's trying to enter, do some work with that jab. Like I said, the low kicks and body kicks, he uses them sparingly, and when he does land them, they're pretty heavy. But yeah, I like Ignacio Bahamondes at minus 225. Not going to chase a prop. If the line mirrors what it did on FanDuel, this will probably go up. So if you can get it down at this price, it's probably a good bet. But yeah, I'm going to respect Rong Zhu and not get too crazy on it. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure to subscribe and take it easy.